A wet and windy weekend is on the way for Tasmania, with a couple of warnings already current, including a severe weather warning for damaging winds across northwestern Tasmania for winds that will develop through tomorrow morning, as well as large areas of flood watch through the central and eastern catchments of the state. And that's in anticipation of the rainfall that's going to come over the weekend, which we'll take a closer look at now, returning to the winds later. It's all associated with this low pressure system sneaking in from the Great Australian Bight. Pretty isolated showers ahead of that system, but as it starts to move closer through Saturday towards the western Tasmanian coast, that's when we see the rain really picking up. Showers and thunderstorms throughout Tasmania, extending across southern Victoria and southeast South Australia as well, but really Tassie feeling the brunt of this system. Now, the low is going to move into Bass Strait later on Saturday and in the overnight period, with a second low pressure centre developing through Sunday and then moving off into the Tasman Sea. As it moves further away, we will see the showers and storms easing up, but still a bit of wet weather remaining by Monday. Now, in a situation like this where thunderstorms are driving a lot of the rainfall, the best way to keep up to date is by keeping an eye on the Bureau's weather radar so that you yourself can see where those punchy showers and storms are starting to develop. Of course, keep an eye on the Bureau's website for any warnings we may need to issue for severe thunderstorms, particularly across eastern and southeastern parts of Tasmania, including the Hobart and Launceston areas. Now, if we do issue warnings, it'll be for heavy rainfall and damaging winds. Heavy rain can lead to flash flooding, flooding roads or walkways, reducing driving visibility, and damaging winds can bring down small trees or tree limbs on power lines, cars, and even your property. Even if you're a Tasmanian who's used to the wet and windy weather, it's a good idea to be prepared this weekend with that rain and wind combining and creating a really dangerous situation. Share this video with anyone you know, friends, neighbours, so that they can stay on top of things as well. Now, as well as that storm-driven rainfall, we are going to see the potential for flooding from Saturday night going into Sunday through the central and eastern catchments. Now, that's riverine flooding, so around our rivers, creeks and waterways. So again, if you're living in one of those areas, be aware that your local pathways or even your property, if it's lower lying, may be impacted by flooding from Saturday night onwards. Let's take a look at the winds now. As I mentioned, we do have a severe weather warning already current for northwestern Tasmania, and that's for those winds starting to pick up as the low moves close to the Tasmanian northwest through the early part of Saturday. So it's really from tomorrow morning that we're going to see that risk of damaging winds picking up in Tasmania. Through the day on Saturday, winds will pick up across the mainland too, with a high likelihood of a severe weather warning for damaging winds across the southeast South Australian coast and the southwest Victorian coast. That's likely later today. There is also the risk of damaging winds with any storms that develop across Tasmania and parts of Victoria and South Australia during Saturday as well, being brought to the surface by those really energetic systems. As the low moves through Bass Strait and then away, we are going to see that wind risk shifting into the more eastern parts, including parts of Gippsland. Through Sunday, we might see further severe weather warnings issued for other parts of Victoria as those brisk westerly winds continue, but we should eventually see an easing as we go into early next week. With warnings already current and more warnings expected this weekend, you need to keep yourself up to date with the latest via the Bureau's website and weather app. If you're unsure what action you should take, seek advice from your local emergency services and keep yourself safe. Catch you next time.